This conference will now be recorded.
So yesterday we saw that the overview of RE framework. Today the next part we'll see. So this is the folders. So data has a config file because the config file has all the three sheets like a settings, constants, and assets. Okay, so what all the constants? If you want to change in multiple places, suppose this one you have to change in multiple places, right? Multiple places you have to use. So instead of that, you can use here. So that constant values, and you can use those things and all into your project. Okay. So later, if you want to change any value for that, so you can change in one place. It will affect in all the places in the RE framework. So and settings, the settings what you want, the queue name, these things and all. And assets are like a the assets. If you have any assets, the values you can use the asset values. Okay, that is a Excel. Oof. Okay. And the folder structure. The folder structure yesterday we saw the folder structure is this one. So the documents and framework. Framework has all the values. And let's go to the main. So the project is starts with the main. The main has a state mission. It has four states. So need get transaction data, process transaction data, and end process. Okay. So if the get transaction data has any errors, it will go to the end process, and if there's no errors, it will go to the get transaction data state. So go to the inside of the init stage. In stage, first we are checking the config is nothing. The config is nothing. Just fill the config. You fill the config. You know, right? So this is a just reading the Excel, all the sheets. So which you mentioned in the arguments. You mentioned in the arguments. So what all the sheets you are send in the arguments, those sheets and within that Excel config Excel. So you have to pass these two values. Okay. These two are the inputs, and this is the output. Okay, so basically the init all settings, the server, what it will do, it will read entire data from that all the sheets. That sheet should be a name and value combination, and it will fill the dictionary like a key and value pair. Okay, and the sheet you may place into any places. Okay, actually, so in the real time, so people, so some cases, some organizations, what they do, so they are just having the some common shared drive, so where all the bots config files are available. So they will give that configuration file in the path of the configuration file here. Okay, not in the same folder. So as it is in the same folder, same the root directory, then we are not giving the full path of this Excel. So some cases they will use the full, because so it is very difficult. They have to log into the system or those systems and change the Excel, right? So if they have a common shared drive and where all the configuration files for all the processes are available, they can easily go and change wherever they want, whenever they want. Okay. So basically, this will fill the dictionary. The dictionary has a here and value field, and this one is a orchestrator queue name. So it will assign the orchestrator queue name. This orchestrator queue name automatically it will assign. This is from the orchestrator queue name. Uh, if you don't have, if you don't provide anything, you can pass the queue name from the orchestrator also. Suppose, for example, here the queue name, orchestrator queue name is you are not provided the queue name from the arguments actually. So the main has the arguments where we have to pass the this queue name. We can pass this queue name from the orchestrator. While you are running the job, it will ask the parameters, right? So that parameters it will show the orchestrator queue names. If you want, you can keep it. Otherwise, you can remove this one. Okay. orchestrator queue name. So because while you are running the job, so you can pass the queue names so through to this process. So that's why they give the orchestrator queue name that will assign to the again to the config lister. So next one is a kill all processes. So kill all processes has it does not have anything. So you can create it. Okay, you can create it. Suppose for example, if we want to create like a mm, if you want to kill the processes, suppose to create an argument like a in underscore process list array of strings. So whatever the processes they send, all the processes we can kill for each. And this is a string and in all processes, and this is a process and use the process name kill process. So basically what it will do, so it will kill all the processes by using the process name. Okay, the process name. That's it. Kill all processes is ready. Killing all the processes. It kill the, if you want log, again you have to write a log. This process is killing, this process is killing like that. Okay, so kill all processes will kill the. So if you see the process names, you have to pass the process names. So anything is a Chrome, right? Excel, Word, like this. Okay. So any process, because we already done that project, the process names you are giving in the as a string list, it will loop each and every process and so create it. And add logs, it will add the log to the orchestrator. If you want, you can add the logs to the orchestrator. And the jobs you can see, and all processors, init processes, all applications. So init all applications also it is empty. So if you want to write any open the applications listings and all, you have to create open this init all applications. Okay, then this has a catch block. This catch blocks what is there? So system error equal to exception, this exception. Okay, you are filling the exception. So out of the after nothing is there in the init. Init has this many things. So init has the init all settings and the kill process and the init all applications. So and if any exception occurred while it is doing these all the processes, so it will go to the catch block and fill that system error equal to exception. So then so this is a stage of first stage, init stage. Okay. So once the init stage is completed, so out of this stage, there is a two ways. One is if the system is not occur, then it will go to the get transaction state. The system is occurred, it will go to the end process. So okay. So what is there in the end process? If the system is occurred, it will has a close all applications. So within that close all applications, there's only one log. You have to write the code to close the all applications. So what is your that mean? Closing the websites, closing the windows, closing these things and all you are writing here. Close all applications. Okay, so that is there in the end process. In the end process also, so if it has only the close all applications, but any exception occurred while it is closing, then it will go to the exception block and it will kill the all the applications. Again, it is killing the all the applications. So wherever you have, so it will kill the all the applications. That is about this end process. End process has only two things, right? So one is it is covered with the try and catch exception handling, and so it has only one part that is close all applications. If the while closing the applications, if any error occurred, then immediately it will go to the catch block. The catch block has a kill processes. Okay, this transaction, the transaction is like a system error is nothing. See, here you're seeing, so once I don't confuse here because these two are connected to each other. That's why, so if you click this one, so here it is showing that trigger system error is nothing and action. and destination is get transaction. Again, system error is a source. Okay, so this is a condition, this is a destination. So basically, as it is connected both the things, that's why it is showing that. Okay, that's it. Otherwise, both are different. You get all applications, get transaction data. In the get transaction data, it will check the should stop is triggered or not. The should stop triggered is having the variable called should stop. The should stop, if the should stop is a true, what it will do, it will log the message like a stop process request, and it will make the transaction item equal to nothing. What is a transaction item? The transaction item is a queue item by default. Okay, the transaction item is a nothing. In that case, so what it will do, it will go to the see the node data. So this node data, what is the node data? Node data. This is the node data. See, uh, yeah, here node data condition. If the transaction is nothing, then process finished due to the due to no more transaction data, and end process. You go to the end process. That is a and one way. If anyone clicked on the stop button, should stop the stop button from the jobs. That is a should stop will listen and it will return the true. Then we have to stop the process wherever the transactions are. If the pending transactions are also there, we have to stop that one. So the next one, so if the should stop is not clicked, okay, then it will go to the get transaction data workflow. So this get transaction data also having the try and catch exception. It has only the logs. Okay, if any exception occurred in the transaction in this else block, what will happen? It will log some message and it will just make that transaction item equal to nothing. So then if any system exception are occurred in the get transaction state, where is the next state? End process. Because while it is reading the some queue items, it got some exception, and it will throw the exception and it will go to the catch block, and then catch block, so it is making the transaction item equal to nothing. Okay, so if there is no exception occurred and then get transaction data, so it will go to the get transaction data. The get transaction data having the get transaction item. That is a it will give the queue item. That is a see the output is a output underscore queue item. So this get transaction data, you have to see this all the arguments. See, these are all the arguments. So if you want to use, you can use. So it's not mandatory to pass all the values. Okay, transaction number. So I said right. So what is that reference? Okay, if there is a data row, these things and all, the transaction item is equal to data row or any file in the row file in the list, then you have to use this transaction number. You are incrementing it, automatically increment that transaction number, but you have to use the transaction number. So that's what. So if you have a list of items or if you have a data table, that is a what is the data? This is a these two, these three. Okay, so this is a IO transaction data is a data table. Okay, this is the IO input output. This is the data table, and this data table having a lot of data. Just imagine if you have a lot of data, then this transaction by using this transaction ID, if it's by default it is a 0, and you're filling the output transaction item. So this also you have to make that as a data row. So within the 10 rows from the data table, you're just taking the one by one. Okay, one by one records. So these one by one records, if you want that, so you need the one index number. Okay, so to loop each and everything. So that is a transaction number. And the get transaction in this config, always it is coming. So what is in config? So while you are calling that here, while you are calling, you're passing this is a input argument to this. Already it is a field. This config has a lot of information. That's why this config is moving to all the files. So it's moving to all the files because wherever you require any values, so you can easily get that values from the config. So that's what. So don't we should not that mean disturb the between code. If you want any other variable, so URL, you should not. I mean, it is not better to. Give the I mean this kind of a variable arguments because so you can pass that argument from the config wherever you need the values to the pass to this any workflow from a main workflow to the any workflow you have to use the config. So add the value into the config.xlsx and use the config dictionary. So okay, even though it is a one single value also you have to use the config dictionary. That is a rule actually. So you can that is a your choice if you can follow or not. Okay. Uh, Config dictionary, and this item is the queue item, single item. It will come as output. Okay. So first of all, the purpose of the get transaction data is getting the single item. Okay. That single item is this one. Okay. Transaction item. This one. So this one may be a queue item, maybe a data row, maybe a string, anything. Okay. And how so by default it is built on top of the built by using the queue items. That's why they have written already get transaction item and everything. And this get transaction item, the out transaction is not nothing. See, if the out transaction is not nothing, that means so basically while you're this is a transaction item, it will give the transaction item, and within this, if it is not nothing, that means it has the data. It will give the transaction ID and transaction out transaction field 1 equal to empty and field 1 2 equal to empty. So if you want to pass this any fields, you can pass the fields, but basically this is a thing out transaction item ID transaction ID equal to to string is not nothing. So out transaction item is not nothing. So if it's a nothing, then this transaction item, output transaction item equal to basically it does not have anything. Okay, it is already if this has a value, then it will fill these values. Okay, and so out of this workflow, whether the transaction item, what is that? This transaction item, this output, right? This transaction item has the value or may not has a value. That means is nothing or is not nothing. So no exception occurred. So then, so this is a new transaction. If the new transaction occurred, it will go to the this transaction, or if no data, it will go to the this transaction and end process. Okay, let's go to the main and go to the so if the a new transaction occurred, it will go to the process. In the process, so first of all, business exception occurs. So that's what here we saw yesterday, right? The business exception occurred. Initially, business equal to nothing, then try block. Okay, if the business exception occurred, it will go to the sorry if the business exception equal to nothing first initially and do the process. Here there's a two catch blocks. So one is a business exception and the system exception. In the business exception it is just filling the information, business exception equal to exception. With the system exception also system error equal to exception. In the final, so in the try block it has a process. This process.xaml is having nothing because here you have to write the code for the single transaction. Okay, so if you have multiple transactions, you have to write the code for the single transaction. The parameters are here, the config dictionary and the queue item is the inputs. Okay, so you have an input one single item, single student details or single employee details. Okay, and do the process whatever you want to do by using the config dictionary. So the config dictionary has the paths or something like that, Excel path and URLs, these things and all, assets, values, everything is there in the config dictionary. So here, this is nothing. This does not have anything in process. The process is a main workflow where you are writing the actual code for that single transaction. Okay. Here, business exception, system exception. So in the process, if we throw any exception, it will go to the business rule exception. So in the system exception, automatically, if any system kind of application exception occurred, it will go to the exception, normal exception. And in the finally block, you have a set transaction status. When will the finally block will execute? Can you ping in the chat window or you can speak? In the finally the try and catch, that means exception handling. So when the finally block will execute, what time it will execute? So application and business exception. No. When the finally block will execute, if the exception occurred, if the when it will execute, if the business exception occurred, then only it will execute, or if the application exception occurred in the always. Okay, that is the answer I am expecting. Okay, always. Okay, the finally block will execute always. Always in the sense, if the exception occurred also, it will execute. If the exception or not occurred also, it will execute. Understand? So that is the finally block, the specialty. So because so if the exception occurred also, you have to update the status. If not occurred also, you have to update the status. In that case, the finally block will execute always. Okay, it's not like a business exception, system exception, but it's like a it will execute always. So here you can see the purpose of that finally block, because so even though that for a single transaction, what you have to do, so you have to update the status even though it is failed, even though it is a success. Okay, a success and fail. So this final block, it has, the final block has, again it is covered with the try and catch blocks. The catch block has a only single log. The transaction set transaction status, XAML has a XAML exception. That's it. Okay, in the try and catch, so in the final block, the final block, open the final, sorry, in the final block, there is a set transaction status. In the set transaction status, these are all the setting the transaction status. Yesterday we saw, so that is the condition, first condition. So it will check the business exception. See, so first of all, what is the parameters here? The parameters are like a config input, system error, business error, transaction item will come, and retry count in and out, and transaction number in and out, and these are all the normal fields, and transaction ID. These three are the normal fields, but these things you have to. These are all the important things. Config is a normal thing, right? Config will go to the all the files because it wherever it requires the variables, and system exception and business exception is required whether it has happened or not to check. Okay, transaction item is required. Why we need the transaction item? To set the transaction status, right? So to set the transaction status, set transaction status is has the q item is a input. So retry count is also in out means it will come as an input, and it will increment that count and it will go outside. And the transaction number is also, it is a in out. So if this it is a in out, the names they are giving the IO. If it's a in, they are giving the in. If it's a out, they are giving the out, right? So this has a no output variables, but it is a in out variables, these two. So this transaction number, if it is a data table kind of thing, so you have to increase the transaction number, right? So in that case, it will increment automatically here. Okay? Now, so this first condition, just check, this business exception equal to is nothing and system exception is nothing. That means there is no exceptions. That is a success. It went to the success, right? Okay. It go to the success. In the success block, what happened? So just we are checking here. So what type of variable it is, and we are setting the transaction status equal success. That's it. Okay. Set transaction status success. What is the variable, input variable in transaction item, and log messages. Okay. And here also you are incrementing the IO transaction number. IO transaction number. If it is a success, the retry count is a 0. Okay. If it is a failure, then yeah, it will go to the next branch. But here the transaction item is also nothing. So they already handle the QA. For the Q items, this transaction item is a number is not required, but this transaction number is required for the any list or any data table kind of things. Okay, they already handle this incremental mechanism. And let's go to here in the next branch. So here, what is this transaction? Business exception is not nothing. The business exception is not nothing means business exception. It is a business handling the business exception. Go to the business exception and see again. This is a set transaction status having the transaction item failed and business. Okay, they already said that the exception message also what exception it has. Okay, so unlock. Okay, so here also it is incrementing the number. So because business exception also it has to increment the number, and if it's a business exception, retry count is a 0. And the system exception, the system exception has a set transaction status is application exception, system message failed, and transaction item. So this transaction now retry number is a increment, and this retry mechanism will happen here, and it will take the screenshot. There is a one workflow has a so one workflow in the for a framework. This is a take screenshot. So what it will do, it will take a screenshot and it will keep a one folder here, error screenshots, and it will keep that take screenshot. If the system exception occurred only, it will take a screenshot. Okay, so it will take a screenshot. This is a folder where it will in the Excel you have a X screenshots folder path. If you want to change that folder path, you can change that folder path. So here in the config, they already have the one constant variable like this one. Okay, X screenshots folder path. So this will exception underscore screenshots. That folder it will create here in the root folder. It will create here, and it will take a screenshots and keep loading that images here itself. Okay, so if you get any exception, you can see in that folder that image also. So what is exactly what place it is, but so sometimes see you are doing the one web application automation. In the web application automation, if any uh, unknown pop-up comes, the bot fails, then it will take a screenshot and keep in that folder. Okay, so by seeing the screenshot you can see so what exactly the position of that application on that time when the error occurred. Okay, uh, that is a taking the screenshot, and so this is a retry mechanism. It will retry. This the retry count is a greater than 0, it will go here, and the retry count is a greater than maximum retry count, so then it will go here like that. So this will increase the number. The retry count is the main transaction item. It will increase the number, and it will make that retry count equal to 0. So like that, this is a whole thing is a retry mechanism, and this is a whole thing about the state set transaction status workflow as a success, failure in the business exception, and failure in the system exception. So in the always what it will do, it will set the basically transaction status. Okay, so give me 1 second. After this, so if any success happens, success means, what is a success? Go to the success transaction. So that success means is nothing and is nothing. So the business exception is nothing, system exception is nothing. That is a success. That is happening. So then it will connect to the get transaction data. If any business exception occurred, go to the business exception. That is a business exception, business role exception. If the business exception is not nothing, that means there is a business exception. Okay? If the business exception is not nothing, means that is a business exception. If the business exception occurred also, it will go to the get transaction status. The system exception occurred, that is, what is this? This is a system exception. System error is not nothing. That means there is a system exception. So it will go to the init stage. Once second time, if you go to the init stage, again it is going the system exception equal to nothing, and it is a config is nothing. So the config is not nothing, right? You go to the else block, it won't execute. It will open the applications again, and it will do for the next process. Go to the get transaction state and take the next item and process the item like that. We'll do simple process. Simple process. Just loading the data into the this one. Loading the data into the here. Where is our UI demo? Okay. This is the UI demo. Loading the data into the UI demo. Okay. So there is Excel. Data points. Data points. This is different. Input data. Okay, so this has input data, right? So just imagine, so you have input data. Okay, you have 9 records. Okay, make this as 10 records. You have 10 records. So what we can do, so we can just create another application just here itself. I'm just creating the application. Or so see here, basically you have a dispatcher and performer. So there is a two. Some people they do the like a dispatcher and performer. Performer will do the performing, the mean work, and this is the orchestrator. So basically, dispatcher is orchestrator queue. Okay, dispatcher will dispatch the items. Dispatcher will dispatch the items to the queue, and performer take the items and perform uh, uh, the mean work. Orchestrator, orchestrator queue. Last time we saw, right, while we are discussing about the queues, we have a dispatcher and performer concept. So the same thing, dispatcher and performer. Okay, dispatcher may execute in the 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. or perform. We can schedule it, so not like like that. Yeah. Okay, after dispatcher execute, because after dispatcher execute only you will get the queue items, new queue items. So like that we can do. So let's take a one new process, dispatcher queue. Hmm, load this information. Okay, so load this. Where is that Excel input? Where is it input data? Okay, here is input data. So what we can do here, so this is basically the small thing only to understand RE framework. So here it has to log into the admin and the password in account. Okay, and this will fill the all the information. Okay, from the Excel. That is a single process we can do in the for each Excel extract the all the right. How can we do this one? How can we do this one? So what is the activities we use? So we're just using the for each row activity, the get data. Can you just think how to do what all activities you use? Just ping in the chat window. Hello, are you getting my voice?
Didn't get the question.
Oh, okay. So can you explain? We have to load each and everything, and from this to Excel to this one. How can we do
By using for each row.
by using for each row? Okay. By using get range also, right? Read range also, right? By using.
Read it.
So it's not like, yeah. So Excel application scope read range for each, yeah. So Excel application scope read range, and once we use the read range, so
For each row.
for each row, you read each and everything and use the typing to and type the information so that we have to log into the work. Okay, this is a single application, single workflow we can do. So what we can do here, so we will put some assets. Okay, so in this one asset is a Excel path, Excel path. That is the input Excel path where we are keeping this Excel. Okay, and yeah, what we can do. So before that, not Excel path, remove that. Okay, before that, we will load everything into the queue. So create one queue item. So in this whole process, we're just now we're doing the dispatcher. We're preparing the dispatcher. That dispatcher is not followed the RE framework. Okay, so it is just getting the Excel data and filling the information load into the queue. That's it. That is the work. It's not doing the actual work, filling the data entry. Okay, the dispatcher is just read the entire data from Excel and loop each and every item from that Excel and add the queue item to the add the new item to the queue. So that is the work for the dispatcher. Dispatcher does not do the actual work. Some organizations they follow this kind of methodology. They will have the dispatcher. They will have a performer. Dispatcher will schedule before and before performer runs. Okay, and basically the performer requires the what the performer need. The performer need the new queue items. Okay, so we can load from the dispatcher or you can load from the directly to the queue. Okay, let's go and create a queue, and here let's create a queue. UIDMO queue. Okay, so UIDMO queue and add the queue. And what we can do, so before that only, here, if that is this is the above, if this one is above 1000, that is a business exception. It is above 1000. Okay, so then we have to raise the business exception in the performer. Okay, uh, 1000 value one. So now we have a queue item, queue name. So what we can do, we can just use the small Excel application scope. So these things and all you can save into the data queues or the orchestrator or directly. And here value one. value 2, value 3. These are all the values. Okay. Now read range. Just read range. And what is the sheet name? Sheet name is the sheet 1. And you have to read the entire range, right? So get the entire range, it. Okay. And what is the next one? Add queue item. Okay. The add queue item, you have to mention the queue name. That is the queue name is this one. Where is the queue name? Here, queue name. And the information, right? Information, that's what item information. Item information is like a hash in. Here is a we have to loop, right? For each, you are not loading a single value. I have to load the multiple values. So, what is that? Input DT. What is the DT here? Range DT. Range DT. So this here, a row of 0, row of 1, row of 2, like that. Value 1, value 2, value 3. Okay. So you can have any variables here. Value 1, value 1. That is the input variable. Row of 0 dot string. Okay. Value 2. Instead of that, value 1, value 2, you can have the variables like a cache in, cache in on as check, like a cache in. Okay, that is a row of sorry. Okay, then not on as check, right? Not on or check is a row of 2. So basically, you are filling the data. Okay, you are filling the data. Now let's run. So once we run, basically this is a dispatcher. Dispatcher will just read the Excel and fill the information. Okay, and just imagine this is like a so one folder has a Excel. So you have to this folder has a some Excel. This folder every day that means new Excel come to this folder. So once you read the folder that has Excel, then read that Excel and load into the what is that, load into the queue and delete that file. Okay, so like that you do not have a duplicate records. Okay, now check the queue items. Queue transactions, these are all the new items, right? So this has a newly added items. So where cash in, cash out. Oh my god, what happened with this? There is something wrong. So this add transaction item. Oh, there's another argument. Oh, these values are not stored. Row of 1, not to string. Row of 2, not to, not to string. And this one is not required. And what we can do, we can just we can delete it, remove it. It will convert into the deleted kind of thing. Okay, now run again. Just a simple example. So we will do this one into the RA framework. The performer we will do into the RA framework. Refresh. Here you are getting the new items. So just see the new items. The values are cache in, cache out. Okay, all the things we are getting. Now the queue has the data. So now let's go to RA framework. Or take a RA framework. Okay, This is a UI demo process. Okay, this RE, you have to choose the RE robotic enterprise framework. We just take UI demo dot. We are giving one name. So before that, so we will have some plan. Okay, so we can keep. We have a queue item. Each queue item will get, and we have a plan like a UI demo path. What is the UI demo path? That is a demo path is this one. Okay, the path of this file. So because this path may change tomorrow, right? So that's why we are keeping this path into the orchestrator asset. Next is a login details. Login. Okay, UI demo login. So it has a username, password. Okay, login credentials. It has a username, password, admin, right? Password. That is our to log into this application. To log into this application, right? After that, what we have to, so this is these two are the other main. One is asset, so this is asset, and this is a credential asset. And what we can do next one, a business exception. What is a business exception? The business exception is if the I value one, that means cash in basically. Okay, so cash in is greater than 1,000. We don't need to process. We have to send the business exception. Okay, greater than 1,000. You have to send the business exception. Okay, that is the one business exception. Application exception, we will see that application exception, we will close the application exception. And one more thing you have to keep in mind is this performer is not depending on this Excel. Understand? Because the dispatcher already dispatched all the items to the queue. The performer work is not depending on the Excel. The performer is looking for the queue item. That's it. Okay. So now we take in that new RE framework template, and here you have a main, and there is a test also. So if you want to test anything, simple piece of code, you can test. So basically, you can test because it has a init all applications, and here you can have some code to test the applications. Okay, that is a test. Okay, main. First of all, what we have to do, open that config.xlsx, and we have a queue name, right? This is a queue name. This is a queue name. You have to pass this queue name to this here. Okay, queue name. Okay. Okay. So yeah, a queue name we give. Okay, that's it. If you want to give the full, so UI demo process. Okay. Your data process. That is the name of the. Then settings constants. If you want to give any constants like a, so if the constant means yeah, you can pass the paths here or assets. Both are same. Okay, constants. What we have transaction items we have to fill, right. We'll make that one so a little bit change like a, so within this folder. So I want to the transaction item. Once you fill that one transaction item, okay. So the transaction item and that are XSX or text file, okay. Some transaction item. Okay. So once you fill the information, you'll get this transaction item, right? ID. That transaction ID, it has to create the text file transaction ID, and it has a cash in and cash or not cash in. No, no, okay, as cash in this. That is a, so this path I'm keeping into the Excel here. Out transaction path. Okay, here I am keeping that. That is a one constant I created. And asset. Let's create assets. What we have thoughts like a, this is asset name, and this is asset name, and I am just creating the same value in the assets. Go to the assets and create a new asset with the name here. asset name, and the value is, this is a path. Don't give in the double quotes. Okay, so give the double with the double quotes. Okay, so we have only single robot. uh, it does it. This asset value you have to keep here. Asset value, the same asset name we're using. So this asset value, basically there is this path, right? You can name both are same, no problem, but yeah, so you can name differently, but because let's understand this is the asset name, so otherwise you can change the asset name to the application path, UI application path. Okay, so this is application path, and yeah. Here you can give the application path, UI application path. This is asset name, and this is a key. Basically, by using this key only, you are accessing that application. And credentials, you can create a credential, UI credentials, UI demo credentials, that is asset name. UI demo login, okay, that is a one value, UI demo not login. So in the settings, so I'm just using that credentials, UI cred, and here I'm creating the asset like a UI credentials, okay, and this is a credential type, and username is equal to admin and password. Admin and password. So this credential, this is the asset name, but this is as it is a credential. So in the assets, you have to give the single value assets only, not credentials. Okay. In the assets, you have to give the single value assets, so number, text, boolean, anything. But the credentials you just keep in the settings. So by using this, you can log and get the credential values. Now everything is ready. So let's go to the our robot process. Here, what we have to do, in the init all applications, okay, so open the UI demo, right? So go to the here, uh, this is the UI demo. Go to the process. What is the process name? UI demo.exe, right? UI demo.exe. We have to kill that application, kill that application if it is already open. Okay. Now what we can do, we can go to the try block and kill all processes. Where is the kill all processes? Here, kill all processes. So within the kill all processes, you don't have anything. You can create a very arguments, but you can, it is a simple kill, right? So what I'm doing is a kill process. Just drag the kill process and kill the process. I'm writing the kill all process, UI demo. Okay, so UI demo. So it's open, right? So it's open. So if I run this one, our application, so this is opened, UI demo. Basically it will run, and it will go to the init all applications and kill process, right? It's killed. Okay. It's killed. Let us stop the process. Okay. Now, okay, so the kill all process is working. Now what is the next one? Is the init all applications. Okay, in the init all applications, we have to open the application. Okay, so go to the open application, and the login also I'm doing here. Open applications. What we have to open? We have to open the the path, right? You can give the path. Suppose, for example, if I give this one, open all applications, indicate this one. But if you go to properties, so you can see this path, right? This path is coming from where? This path is coming from where? You should not hard code the path. Instead of that, what you have to do, you just go to the config dictionary. It has the path where you are keeping. You are not keeping here. You are keeping the path here, right? This is you are keeping the path in the orchestrator asset. So go to the here, and instead of you hard code the path, you have to use the in config of path dot posting. Okay, so this will replace the path. So once you open that path, open that application, again you need the username and password to log in, right? Username and password to log in. So for that you have a get app credential. Just drag the get app credentials and import arguments. Here, if you pass the input variable as a credential type, this credential name, asset name, and it will give the username and password. So to store the username and password here, I'm creating the uname, and here is a some password. Okay, something like the pw. Okay. So these two values in the and this one. Okay, so go to Excel. Where is our credential? So this is a credential, right? So use this one. Use this one. So always you have to use the keys, not the values. Okay, go to here and use the instead of test credentials in underscore config, because as you are not in the main, you should use the in underscore config. So if you are in the main, you can have the config only, not posting. Okay, so this will replace the basically the credential name, credential asset. So it will give the username and password. What is there inside the get app credentials? In the get app credentials, this has a get or credential activity. Okay, so this is just having the simple get credentials. You will give the input as a credential type and get the username and fill the information. Now we have a username and password. Okay, now what is the next one? Next one is we have to type into and indicate the screen. This is selectors and use the uname. Okay, next one is another type into indicate the screen and use the pwd. Okay, next one is so why it is showing, because it won't accept the pwd is a secure string. So how can we convert? Can anyone tell the formula? So this is a formula, so where you can convert the secure string to the string. Now click activity, just use the click activity to log in. Okay, that's it. Okay, so that's it about this one. Okay, so you just logged in. That's it about this init all applications. Once you log in, so that is enough in the init all settings. So in the get transaction data, you are not doing anything because it automatically get the transaction data, a new item from the queue, and go to the process transaction data. In the process transaction data, also go to the process. In the process, log into here, admin password. Okay, admin password. Okay, this is the one. So what you can do, so here you can you see this in transaction item is nothing but a single item. Okay, this is a config. Now attach window in the process. Where in the process dot xaml. Okay, indicate attach. Okay, and
It should be window or a browser, Sudhir. It should be
sorry,
window.
window. Okay, window. Okay, or it is better you can try it directly. Okay, directly type 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 into. Okay, so type into select this one, and here what you have to do, so you have to in underscore transaction item dot specific item content dot queue item. Okay, the queue item has the values. Okay, this is this value. Okay, this value, the first value dot to string, and the same thing you just drag and drop the another activity, type into and indicate the screen, this one, the second item. And the same thing, so in underscore transaction represents the single item, single queue item specific content of the queue has a next item. Okay, next one is so, but just give the titles properly, input cache and input or not cache and like that. Okay. Second one, third one. Now, what is the third one? Third one is this one. Copy and go to the uipath studio here. In transaction dot rows dot specific item content of this one dot to string. Okay. Now click on the accept button. Once you click on accept button, you can take the we have to take the value, right? Get text value. So the transaction item we have to take. Okay, get text value. Always it is better to check the selectors, but as it is a known application, so I'm not checking the selector item. Okay, this will give the trans ID. Create one trans ID. Okay, there is a trans ID will change. Now you have to use a write text file, where you have to write text file. Text file, what you have to write? You have to write like a something like a text class equal to in transaction item dot specific content caching dot to string, like that. Environment dot new lines, if you want to give the new line in the text. So again, what is it? On us cache in underscore transaction item dot specific content of on us transaction item. Okay, like that. Yeah. Let me maximize this one so that you can understand clearly. Okay, so next one is also environment dot new line. This is a text where we are giving that not on us in underscore transaction item dot specific content of the third variable. Okay, so this is a value, and what is this path? So where is the path? The path is like the path is in underscore config of the text. So this is a path, right? Here it has to create a folder. Copy the key and put here. This is a value plus. So see the slash. The slash is not there at the end. Okay, so that we can create a slash here. Slash. The name of the file is trans ID. Okay, and .txt. Okay, this will give the like this is a basically I'm just copying, so here, so something like this slash one number .txt. Basically this txt I hard coded, and this number is coming from the transaction ID, and this whole thing will coming from the this one. That's what just hard coding and forming the thing. And this one dot to string. What happened here? Yeah, here as it is object, we have to always keep the to string. Okay, now it will fill in information. But everything, so as we discussed earlier, so business exception is a cash in. So cash in is a above. Uh, so what we can do, we can use a if condition here. If condition here, if the in uh, dot specific item of cash in, the cash in. Actually, this is a string. It will give c int. I'm converting into the c int dot greater than 1000. It's greater than 1000. Then what we have to do? We have to throw the exception, right? That is a business exception. Throw the exception here, and so go to here in the exceptions. Use the new business rule exception. Give the information like a so hash in should be the uh, is 1000. Okay, this is the information about this. So which cache in? So this cache in, and we can put the cache in also. So in underscore transaction item dot specific content of this one dot question. So we can give the number cache in 5000 is cross the limit 1000. Okay, that is a throw. Once there is a throw, the remaining these parts will not execute, right? Because it will go to the business exception. Okay, that is a process. Process we have to we created everything. Process is created, but now yeah, it is time to run the application. I think everything is okay, right? Okay, so how many are there in here? Here you have a 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 values. Okay, because we ran one time, right? We ran one time while we are using the kill process. That's why it is a so what we can do, we can delete these things, and I'm opening the new window. So let's load freshly all the 10. All the 10. Do you have any? So this whole thing where we done the changes these things and all. We didn't touch the get transaction data and end process. We just modified the workflow in the process.xaml and the init all applications and kill process. These three, right? And dispatch the queue. So dispatch the queue. The biggest advantage of this one, the RE framework is, suppose, see, you have these many records. Let's imagine 1 lakh records are there. So after this first success, second success, and it is a failed, right? It is a failed. So if normal applications, if it is a failed, it won't continue for the remaining things, right? Okay, it will stop immediately. And but here, so it will continue from this one. So it will just go to this one as a failed and will go for the next records. That is the biggest advantage while you are using the RE framework. RE framework will not stop even though one transaction is failed. One transaction has a system exception, something like that. Okay, that is the one thing. Okay, now just let me run. Okay, it's done. Let's remove this folder. Okay, just check. then we have a new entries or not. We have a new entries, 10 new entries. Okay. Now let's go and execute our first RE framework. Yeah, running this Excel, everything is not required. Let's go see this folder. See this folder. Okay. Okay. This has I created this. Okay, so it has some errors. Open application, this system cannot find the specific path. So why it is not identifying the specific path? It is not identifying the specific path. This one. Okay, let us see. Let us fix this things. UI path, UI demo dot path. Okay, so we have an orchestrator assets and also orchestrator assets. Assets. This is here UI application path. This application path is different than this one. Let's check. No, this isn't wrong. That's why. Okay. So we will give the path, proper path in the assets. Okay. Update. Now just go and run the application and see this folder. Okay. This folder. Okay. Now again, the object reference not set to an instance of object. Okay. So what it mean? Object reference not set to instance of object means we're
Application.
not passing the values. Hello. Hello. Hello.
The application is not open, I think.
Application is
Not open.
not opened.
Yeah.
We have to keep it open.
Yes, I think.
We have to keep it open that UI demo.exe
That.
before running.
Yes.
Okay, always in the production, all the schedules the person has to open, right? Every time he has to go and open that application and run the job. Is it you, right?
Yes.
It's a hang. Okay, so let me close that one. So because application, who will? I mean, the robot has to open the application. Robot has to close the application. Okay, so robot has to handle all the exceptions. So let me close. Let me reopen uipath. So basically, it is showing that object reference not set to an instance, right? Object reference not set to an instance of object. Okay, that is the exception it is showing. But that is like a, so we are create, it's like a you will get this common exception. This is a object reference not set to an instance of object. This is that common exception is like, so wherever you declare the variable but you are not passing the value, the variable object. If you declare the object, suppose here the error what I'm expecting is, so this is a common exception you have to keep in mind. Okay, so this one, so this one is a init all applications. Open the init all applications, but here in the argument just see init in all in config, right? In config, let's open this one in config. You're passing in config. Okay, if you're not passing, then only it will show that type of exception. Let us see. Let us investigate more. So whether it will give the config. Yeah, it is giving the config. Okay, so then, so this is saying that object reference not set to an instance of object. So what object? What object basically? Okay, this init all applications. this is that UI demo path. Just check the UI demo path is there or not in the config dictionary. UI demo path is there. UI application is there. Everything is there. Okay. Yeah. Now let me try again. Try to run this one. So you can see the output. So it is started, and first it will initialize all the objects to the object dictionary, the config dictionary, and it will kill the processes. Okay. See, what happened? It is saying the bad gateway while it is reading the from the get asset value. This is from init all applications. Init all applications has assets, right? Okay, let us see that locals and here. What is that? This one is a row. What is that is saying? What it is saying? This assets should have some problem. Okay, so whether it is connected, let's check the robots. Yeah, it's connected. Okay, nobody is connected. But here it is saying get asset value bad bad gateway. Okay, let us go to the our assets. Just I'm removing from here, and this is the path. Asset name, UI application path. UI demo path, UI demo path, UI demo path. Nothing. This what we can do. We can just print that cloud message here. We can print that information. Warning: what is asset it is trying to get? It's trying to get this asset name, right? Okay, so let us run. We'll see where the exactly error is. This is UI. Yeah. So now it is working. So it is able to get. Maybe the orchestrator is not responding. Okay. Now it is filling all the information. Okay. The transaction number. Can you see the output panel? The process transaction number 1, 2. Okay. Suppose if I in the middle of that I am closing the application. I'm closing the application forcefully. I'm closing the application. So I close the application. There is no application open, right? See, I closed the application. So now which exception will come? The exception is like a select or not found exception will come. Understand? In the fourth, so suddenly just imagine that application is closed. So which exception occurred? Select or not found exception occurred. So where it will go? Which state it will go? Can you tell? If the select or not found exception occurred in the process stage, what is the next stage? See, select or not found exception occurred. But we cannot find the selector, it has to throw the exception, right? Okay, so we're running debug mode, that's why. Okay, we're running in the debug mode, that's why. Okay, well, let's run in the normal run. We have text files, so all the information. Okay, so the board is running now. Let's see. So after one executed, so while it is running the second time, I'm closing. Let me close the application. Okay, so let's close the applications. Application is closed. Now the exception, right? Where is output panel? You can see that this is a business exception thrown 2 times. Okay, so fifth one I closed that one. You are seeing, right, a business exception. So we have it is a thrown to the business exception. Is not doing, and now it should come as a see. The system exception occurred. So what happened when system exception occurred? The select or not found exception occurred, right? What happened? It went to the init stage and do the entire process. Okay, again it log in, open the application, log in, and go to the get transaction state and take in the next one and close application. Then the close applications is pending. So in the close here, in the close applications, so we'll close the application. Okay. Close window, drag the close window here, indicate the window. Okay. It will close the application. Do you all understand? Let me run again. If you okay, here you can see all the things in the queues. In the queues, so this is view transactions. You can see all the success, retried, failed. It's a failed. What is a failed? Business exception. See here, business exception. If you see the view details, this reason is also written here. Okay, understand? And failed with the system exception. This is a retried application exception. Okay, this application exception is having the reason like a this whole exception cannot find the specific item. Okay, so it's retried 436. Understand? See, this one is retried. Sorry, 456 is retried. Okay, and after this, it is executed. This is a different item. Once the items are completed, then it is going to the retry 456. That is the retry mechanism. First, it will retry, and it will go to the next and after completing all the items, it will start again. And understand? Go to this folder. You can see all the text files. So, any questions? I'm just running the queue, filling the queue again. We'll see one more time. Do you all understand RE framework? It's a easy, right? So compared to the normal thing, because we have a everything is a well-defined kind of thing, right? So everything is well defined. So where we have to write that thing we have to know. Now just check the queues. We have queue items. Okay. Now let me run again. Okay, let me run again and open this application here. We run again, and you can see. So earlier I click on the debug. That's why it's stop run. Okay. Now you can see here. First the business. So you can see you can monitor the output panel so that you can understand. See, login is happening. So this login work and all, where it is happening in the init all applications. So and it is going one by one the items. So if anything occurred in the system exception, suppose I closed the applications, what will happen? There is no application opened. What will happen? This will throw the exception like a application exception, the select or not found exception. Okay, so if the browser is closed or anything happened, Excel is hanged, Excel is not responding, application is not responding, anything happened for the transaction, it will fail for that, and it will go to the that transaction is a retried stage, and it will go to the init stage. In the init stage, it will open the application again, right? We'll see. It's taking time because as it has to throw the exception. So it's throw the exception, yeah, closing the applications. See, now it has started the again init all applications. This is like a just connections. You have to understand the connections, where to go, where from where to where it is going, and if the exception occurred, where it will go. Okay, these things. Now let's continue this thing. So at the end, it will close the applications because we use the close all applications, right? And business exception also. So it is throwing the business exception if the cash in is above 1,000. Okay. Now it's closed the application, right? Closing the application. Went to the closing application and closed the application. No transaction data. There is no transaction data because everything is finished. All the items are finished. And so this is a business exception. The exception occurred. That is a thing. So do you have any doubts?
Sudhir, could you please show only the retry scope where it is exactly written, the code for it?
So in the finally block, in the main, you have a process, right? Basically, it is happening in the say retry block means it is just see set transaction status. Set transaction status. You have a this handling the system exception. Within the handling the exception, system exceptions, you have a this is a retry robot. It is checking the retry maximum retry count. Okay, maximum retry count. Okay, so this is a number. You need to configure maximum retry number, and this maximum retry number is a greater than zero. Then it will go here. If the maximum retry number and IO retry number, there is a IO retry number, right? This is the IO retry number. In arguments, you can see the IO retry number. This IO retry number will increase. Okay, it will be the zero first, and it will increase one by one. Okay, so the maximum retry number is greater than the maximum retry number is greater than the retry number, then it will go here, login, and it will increase the transaction number, retry number equal to 0. So here we'll go here, and so this one. Retry count equal to retry count plus 1. So basically, if the q retry equal to true, then if it equal to false, then it will give the retry number will increase. Q retry. What is a q retry? Just go up. You can see here. Where is a q retry? This q retry equal to true. So this q retry equal to true. When it will true, so this transaction item it is a q item. Okay, see here. I'll expand this one. So basically what it is doing, it is checking the transaction item is not nothing, and also transaction item get type means it will give us get what type of variable it is, whether it is a string, boolean, text, q item, data row. Okay, that is q item. If that is a q item, then we're creating this q retry. Q retry is a one variable, that is a boolean variable, that is the way of making the true. The Q retry equal to true, where is here Q retry equal to true, then the IO retry number equal to, we're increasing to the 1. Okay, so if this Q retry is not, that means not Q retry equal to false. If the Q retry is equal to true, the transaction number we are increasing. Okay.
Oh, okay, got it.
So this is the place the retry mechanism is working. Do you have any doubts? You are clear, right, Archana?
Sudhir.
Any more doubts, all of you? You will understand, right? What is exactly the thing, the advantages of this. So you can ask any doubts in the RE framework, because it is a very important thing. If I want to close a SAP, where I have to write the code in RE framework? No. Close the SAP. You have close applications. First preference is you just give the close all applications. Okay, don't go with the kill. Okay, so first preference is close all applications. If the all applications is not closed properly, then you have to go to the kill. That's what we are doing, right? Normally humans, so you are closing the application. If it's not closed, then you go to the task manager and kill the process, right? Right click on the kill end process. That is what we are doing. So in the same way, we are doing in the RE framework also. Okay, so if any exception occurred in the init stage, what is the next stage? If any exception, system exception occurred in the end stage, what is the next stage?
Yes.
End process. If any exception occurred in the get transaction state, get transaction data, what is the next stage?
In process.
Why it is end process? Why it will go to the end process? Any reason? Because here in the exceptions, where in the catch block we are making, you are making the transaction item equal to nothing. Okay, so if the transaction item is equal to nothing, it is going to the, it is treating as a no data. Okay, no data items to process, then it will go to the end process. Here is different. Exception occurred, I mean system exception has something. Okay. Here is different. If any business exception occurred in the process state, what is the next state? If any business exception occurred in the process transaction state, what is the next state? Get transaction data, right? Okay, get transaction data. Okay. How many times the init all settings will execute in the whole workflow? How many times the init all settings will execute? Only one, right? Because here only one time we are loading the data into the config string. So can we use the RE framework without using the queues? Yes. Okay. Okay. So what is the advantages of the RE framework? So RE framework is like a just a template and the modular approach, and it has the different modules. And the advantage is this one, just now as I told you, right? So if you have a 1 lakh records, so if you are in the stop in the process, it will continue the remaining process without disturbing anything. Okay, it's a well-defined. It's a handles the logs. What all this handles? It's handles log, exception handling, logs, and default state mission, and default use the queues. That's it about this. So and for you, the exercise is this ones. I will copy this whole this document into this our user files kind of thing. So see here, there is a master, school master is there. This is an example. This is a exercise for you. Use the RE framework and complete this exercise. Okay. So first the bot has to go to the school master. The school master has all the information. The school master has this information. So what is the information? School name, school ID, and email ID, and total fees. Okay, total fees. So it has some fees based on the schools. Okay, so each school how much fees they paid, each school how much fees they paid. Okay, so this is a master. Use the dispatch here and dispatch all the items to the queue. Okay, so this is the fields. So all the items to the queue. So once you dispatch the items, so you have a school name, school ID, and school ID, and then the email ID, and then total fees. So here in this folder you have a each school. There is a school names. Okay. Some school names are not there. Okay, some school names are not there. Suppose for example, if you see here closely observe, so which school is not there? Maybe this school is not there, right? The selected school is not there, indoor, and this school is also not there, Greenwood. Okay, if the school file is not there, you have to send the business exception. That is the thing. Okay, and next one is if school is there, this school is St. James is there. Okay, the school is there, open that Excel. That Excel has the all the information or each student how much they paid. Okay, each student how much they paid. So if the uh, class name or student number is missing, so this is a class name and student number is missing, then you have to throw the business exception, like a the class name is missing or student name is missing, student number is missing. That is another business exception. We have two business exceptions. One is a class school file is not there. That is one business exception. The another one is a class and the school number, a student number is a mandatory for each and every school. Okay. The class, if the class are missing, those records it has to send the business exception. The student number is missing, it has to send the business exception. It should not process that file. Okay. Now, so you have to take the sum, total sum. So what is the sum here for this same giveaways? 65816, right? Go to the schools. So here in these transactions, you have to 65816. So if it's a matching, then that is a success. Okay. So if it's not matching, then fail and take the business exception like that. Okay. Business exception is the total fee is not matching. Okay. It has all the records, all the schools records. School has a different school numbers. Okay, and fill the information. Okay. Prepare that. That's the one exercise. Sending the business exception and process. The process, if the both are matching, okay, both are matching. If the both are matching. Uh, there is a word. Okay, word report is there. Okay, here I'm placing this. Here input, input. Okay, the input I'm placing these two. So this is a template is there, report template is there. Okay, you just take the template of this one. Okay, take the template and fill the information: student, school name, date of report, that is the today's date, system date, school ID, and number of schools, number of students. That number of students is coming from where? It's not coming from here. You don't have a number of students here, right? Where is that? The count here. Okay, suppose Sainik school, it has a count. Number of students is a 31. Okay, 31 is the number of students. Okay, so number of students and total fee they paid. Okay, total due, how much they due. Okay, so how much they due means that is like a how much they due. they paid this much. Okay, the schools they paid this much to the university, but they have to pay the remaining amount. Suppose this is a pay the students. See, this is a paid for by the school to university, and this is a fees they paid from the student to school. Okay, so take this total sum minus this number, the total fee, you will get the due amount. Okay, that due amount you have to place here and send that whole report, the whole document report, to the corresponding school email ID. Okay, so where is the school email ID? This is the school email ID. Okay, corresponding to that school email ID, that is a due amount like that. Okay, that word file you have to send. Do you all understand? Hello? Do you all understand what you have to do? So what you were saying, the usable exception handling, Archana? Usable, okay, that is a late, okay, fast, usability and exception handling, understand. Okay. So you can do, right? This exercise, yeah. Mails, it covers all the email automation, Word automation, Excel automation, RE framework, queues, everything it will cover, okay? Data table, everything it will cover. So I will, yeah, that means almost our course is completed. Okay, so the last one is we'll see tomorrow this thing. Okay, this example you just try. I will also try. So tomorrow we will see that example. Or if you not with the same example what we did.
Sudhir,
Tomorrow or Monday?
Uh, okay, Monday we will see because you need the time, right? It's Monday, Saturday, Saturday, Sunday. You just done do this exercise, the RE framework, and at least to all of you, please complete this exercise and send to that video. So nowadays people are not sending the assignments. Okay, all of you please send the assignment. There will be video while it is running. Video how you did this is
hello.
yeah.
Monday, can you explain without orchestrator?
Sorry.
Monday, can you explain by using without orchestrator?
Yeah, we will see on Monday. I will see on Monday. Okay, so you now you know that everything about this RE framework, right? RE framework
Yes,
with the queues. With the queues, there is no doubts for you, right?
yes, yes.
Chetan and Jain, Chetan, Jani, Archana, Vamshi, you all have no doubts about the RE framework in the queues, right? In the queues. Everything in chat window. No doubts, right? No doubts. Okay, so we'll see the same example you done with you do with the queue concept. So I will show you with the data table. Okay, the same example what we just seen, right? School automation. We'll see the same example with the data table without queues. I will explain in the Monday on Monday. So Monday we will close this batch. Okay, Monday we will see that same example, and you do the same exercise with the queues. But you need to submit. So all of you just please submit the exercises. That's the last exercise at least. Okay. Any more doubts? Okay, fine. Okay, we'll see you on Monday. Okay, see you on Monday, same time. Bye. Have a great day.